Hello everybody and welcome back to our Parent and Child channel and our chia sessions. Yeah, today we are running the two farms on two different network segments, one on the virtual network and one on the VPN, and you can see we managed to get our response times down. And at the moment we are just in the process of copying a plot file from one machine to the other, and you see you're losing the file while you're copying because you have to rename it, and that means that while you are copying your files you are unable to farm them because there's only one plot left and the other one has vanished. But apart from that, it all works well. We have the receiving machine is an i7, I think it's a 9000 with 40 plus gigabyte of RAM, but only 1 gigabyte of network connection. So this is pretty stuffed. That's the bottleneck basically, because it is only 1 gigabyte connector, and that is the transfer rate from one machine to the other, and that is the VPN just listening to the internet. So there's nothing going on. And the receiving machine is fine with just copying the files. So everything is good, looks good. So you see you have to rename the original plot file into something whatever, and then you can copy it just like any other ordinary file. Here is that's our test server. It's a HP 7th generation. So there has 24 cores, and whoops, here we are. And we have a total, I think, of 4 connections here, yeah. And it's a multiplex, so it's four port NIC. So everything is fine, nothing is bad, but it took us a while to figure out how it works. But anyway, so with 10 gig connection, you're looking at around about 20 to 30 minutes file transfer time for one plot, for 100 gigabyte plot. So this was three hours and a bit with 1 gigabyte, sorry. So it will be 30 minutes roughly. So you have 900 minutes, no, not, you have 900 minutes on a 900 to 960 minutes on a 1 gigabyte network connection. So you have roughly 10% of it on a 10 gigabyte connection. So that means we're looking at 180, 190 minutes. So yeah, around about 20 25 minutes, because it won't be 10% exactly. So you can calculate 20 minutes for the file transfer, 20 to 25 minutes for the file transfer for one plot, given that you have fiber optic switch and cabling. So that is 200 to 250 minutes for 10 plots. So that is 3.5 to 4 hours for 10 plots. But anyway, we don't want to walk around all the time and swap hard disks. That's just not worth the effort. So it will be a jukebox, and then run up to the capacity of 60%, and then files will be transferred from one smaller hard disk to a bigger one, and then again, and a few files will be transferred over fiber optic, so that we don't have to constantly swap disks. I mean, that is just not what you want. Yeah, and what else did we do? So yeah, if you want to copy plot files, so what you have to do is go on your plot file directory, choose the file you want to copy. It has they have the extension plot, and then rename it into anything you want to, so that you're not having problems with the harvester, so that the receiving harvester is recognizing a file which has exactly the same name as the sending harvester has. And yeah, then you can just copy it from one computer to another. And if you have the setup like we have, then you can, even if your system load goes up, then you can just transfer the plot directory from one farmer to another. So basically you have one farmer on one computer and one farmer on another, but that works only when you have two different main IP addresses. So you need either a virtual network which gives you original IP addresses, or you need a VPN connection to another server different from your internet provider, from your ISP. So that's what I have figured out. I would be happy if you have other suggestions. Please just send us an email if it's all just rubbish, but that is what we have figured out so far. Yeah, and then everything is fine. So it is possible to transfer the files during the during the operation, during the normal operation. So there would be a script which chooses files by date. So you would always copy the eldest files first. And then, yeah, don't forget to leave enough space in your jukebox so that you can always add some hard disks so that you can transfer the files from the smaller to the bigger hard disks. And then, yeah, just sell your smaller hard disks. So you have a 10 or 12 or 24 box with SAS drives, and then you just leave 8. You fill up 16 and you leave 8, or you fill up 10 and you leave 14, and then you wait for the next generation of hard disks to arrive. So if you start with an 8 terabyte one, then you put in 14 terabytes, and then you copy your files from your 8 terabyte hard disks onto the 14 ones, and then you put the 8 ones into, on eBay. And then you will have better transfer rates anyway, because if you copy Intel, then you have whatever the controller gives, but still you might need to copy files from other jukeboxes because you might not be able to, or from other storage places because you might not be able to have fill all the vacancies with the next generation of hard disks. But anyway, so it will work even if you have to transfer over the network and can't do the in-machine transfer. And I would strongly advise not to rely on carrying hard disks around and transfer them from one computer to the other. That is just not working. That's not sustainable. You will make a horrible mistake one day. And even with jukeboxes, transferring files from the host to the jukeboxes by just carrying the disks around is just prone. One day it will go wrong. You will just choose the wrong disk, and then you will fuck up your whole. Then you will damage your whole array or whatever, and everything will be down. Yeah, and so what we did is we just transferred the directory from here. You have this add a plot directory, and you see this one is empty now. That was the farming computer for the before we started the file transfer. And then you just go onto your other machine and add a plot directory, and then you have a plot directory. I just see, oops, what went wrong. No, I did it exactly the other way around. Okay, so yep, so we did it exactly the other way around. Yep. So here is the plot directory now. Yeah. So we just swap the block directories from one farmer to the other, and that's the way you do it. Add plot directory, and then you see you can just move the plot directories from one farmer to the other. But it only works if you have different IP addresses. You can't have two full nodes behind the same IP address. That doesn't work. So you need to have virtual network or VPN connections or whatever. But apart from that, it all works. I tried it, so those are already copied plots. We copied them already from one machine to the other. We are just returning it now. And it works without any problem. And if you want to move plots around later on when you connect yourself to a farm, then for 100 gigabytes over a network connection, internet connection, you might need up to 15 hours to transfer it. So reserve some time for it. That's why I think it will not be worth the effort. And yeah, that's it. I think that is the topic covered. Transfer the file transfer for plots, and yeah, obviously you see we have made it. We have our response times for both farms. Very, very good. I'm very happy with it. And we have already 5 million chia, 5 millions of a chia. Yeah, so we are coming more and more to the conclusion that it is not worth doing it in the long run, because the investment is just too high. If you want to keep up with the Joneses, I mean, this is just a random thing here. I don't think you have a chance of winning within 44 years, because who knows what is in 44 years. But at the moment, the odds of participating aren't too bad. So if you actually have 120 terabyte or so, and you can plan it so that the electricity costs don't overrun you, and it's not taking too much toll. That's why we don't use NVE drives for printing. We just print on simple SAS drives. So we needed 9 hours for one plot with 9 threads and 26 gigabyte of RAM. We will have another go with 10 threads today and see how it works. So that if we use 10, we can do 2 parallel without any problems. Oh yep, there was our internet connection, but I think it's just a short blip here. That is just a very, very short blip. Whatever happened. And Yeah, we will fill up one jukebox. We have a tenner lying around, which isn't used at the moment. And we will fill that up and then see how we go on from there. But that is about it. I don't think we will try to keep it up in the long run. We will put the farmer on a web server which is running anyway, and we will use our unused capacity on our Ubuntu servers for printing, and that will be it. And then we will see where we end, and then we have not spent a single dime apart from the electricity costs, and we have had some fun and some work, and we learned a lot about VPN networks and caveats with it, and yeah, that's it. And I hope for you all guys that you have fun. Oh yeah, when you have 2, it goes actually down to 22 years. So I'm very much looking forward what happens if we have 4, then we should be down to 6 years. We will see. Yeah, that's it. So copying works. Plot files can be copied over the network without any problems. You only have to look out, depending on your machine, how your reaction times fare when you use your network capacity for copying the files. That could be a problem depending on the machine you're using. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Like and subscribe if you want to. And see you again when we have our plotter working. Have a good day.